Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Red Riot Games YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very powerful deck that doesn't see the most play. That is Excadrill Control. This deck is trying to deck your opponent out, and it usually takes more than 20 to 30 minutes, so the deck doesn't see a lot of play in online tournaments, because most online tournaments are best of one until top cut. Best of one being 20 to 30 minutes long normally. Now, the purpose of this deck is to handlock your opponent. So you're trying to let them get down to let them take a few prizes, and then you reset stamp them down to a low hand size. Discard all of the cards in their hand with a combination of Jesse James and Wheezing. Wheezing allowing your opponent, making your opponent discard more cards if you discard it off of Jesse and James. And then once their hand is down to 0 cards, you use Chip Ice Axe, look at the top 3 cards of their deck, and put one of them on top. Now, eventually you're going to hit. If you just keep using Chip every turn, eventually you're going to find 3 good cards. So you need to use Reset Stamp every turn or every other turn, then Jesse and James discard those cards. That way you have a chance of discarding some good cards off of that Reset Stamp Jesse James Wheezing combo. And that's sort of a way to sort of simulate a Blub and Bryceman effect, where you are milling cards from your opponent's deck that they want to see. Now, a big part of the lock is Excadrill, allowing us to shuffle 4 cards from our discard pile back into our deck so that we can keep reusing the Chip, the Wheezings, the Reset Stamps, and the Jesse James. Then we play Savali GX. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So obviously Jesse and James are going to put you down to 0 cards in hand by the end of your turn normally. Or eventually you'll have no cards in hand at the end of your turn after using Jesse and James, since it forces you to discard 2 cards as well. So then, at the beginning of your turn, after you shuffle 4 cards in off of Excadrill, you're going to be able to play one. You're going to be able to just Savali GX and draw your entire deck, basically. Now, we play a bunch of other draw cards. We have Jirachi, allowing us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and put a training card we find there into our hand. Jinchino, allowing us to discard a card and draw 2. And Zacian, allowing us to draw 3 cards and end our turn. We rarely attack until we get the lock off and start using Rototiller. So, Zacian, Jinchino, and Jirachi are just sort of our way to burn through our deck so that we can get to that 0 card deck that we want. That way we can keep finding the exact same cards off of Rototiller and establish that permanent lock. Then we have Lucario Melmetal. When you only want to use it for the bonus effect of the GX attack with 2 colorless energy. Discards all energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So you usually want to use this on the turn that you lock. That way, whatever Pokemon your opponent has in the active spot cannot attack. Then we power that up with Bead. We don't want to put Lucario Melmetal into play and attach to it twice. That probably won't work. It'll probably get brought up and knocked out. So we use Bead, attach a basic energy card from your hand, one of your bench Pokemon, so we can use that to power up a Lucario Melmetal with 2 energy in 1 turn. We play 2 Boss's Orders. Sometimes we don't need to use Lucario Melmetal to lock. We can just pull up one of our opponent's Pokemon that doesn't have a attack that it can use, maybe doesn't have any energy on it, or maybe it just something like a Dedenne GX where no matter how many energy on it, it's not very effective. Sometimes we need to lock that in the active with Galar Mine, where she costs both active Pokemon is 2 more, and sometimes we establish a lock with Wondrous Labyrinth. The attack cost of non-fairy Pokemon cost 1 more. For other supporters other cards that we sort of use as setup, we have 4 Crushing Hammer, Flip Coin, discard energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon, just to slow our opponent down a little bit while we set up. A Great Ball to search for Pokemon, Pokecount to search for Pokemon, 4 Quick Ball to search for Pokemon, Scoop Up Nets allowing us to reuse Jinchinos sometimes, get extra Jirachis off of our bench, sort of clear bench space when we need it, and just sort of give us a little bit of mobility as well, allow us to reuse our Stellar Wishes. Tool Scrapper, allowing us to pull an Air Balloon off one of our opponent's Pokemon. 2 Bird Keeper, allowing us to draw cards and move our Pokemon around in case we have the wrong Pokemon in the active, or again, if we want to reuse Stellar Wishes. 1 Yell Grunt, in combination with Crushing Hammer, just allowing us to slow our opponent down a little bit, putting one of their energy into their hand. 2 Surge, allowing us to double Supporter, so we can use Boss plus Jesse James, or maybe we need to Jesse and James our opponent down to 0, and Bead to power Lucario Melmetal in 1 turn. So many uses for Surge. Surge, like a ridiculously good card in this deck. We definitely need to have. We play 2 of a lot of these cards that are really, really important, just because we don't want to have. We usually only need to use 1 per game, but we just don't want to have them prized. Erica being a very solid draw card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. And mostly counters things like Marnie, 2 Cynthia Caitlyn, just allowing us to draw 3 cards and get a supporter back from our discard pile. Very solid. And then, like I said with the boss's orders, and then Pal Pad and Ordinary Rod are other recovery cards. Pal Pad allowing us to put 2 supporter cards from our discard pile back into our deck, and Ordinary Rod allowing us to shuffle 2 Pokemon and 2 energy back into our deck, allowing us to sort of maybe discard a couple of those early game with Make Do, draw through our deck, and then put them back in. Also means we get more value out of Rototiller because we can put Ordinary Rod and Pal Pad back in with Rototiller, and then we get more value by putting in 6 cards off of those total with Rototiller. Normally you don't want to get too many extra cards in your deck, but sometimes there's like 2 supporters you need. Maybe you want to put Surge and Jesse James back in with Pal Pad, and you'll be able to draw them back with Sub-Valley GX most likely anyways, and you discard the dead cards you get off Ordinary Rod with Make Do. So definitely powerful cards to just keep your resources, keep your lock going. Now there's a lot of other like interesting things you can do with the deck, but I won't go too much into detail with it because control decks tend to be pretty complex. You have a lot of options. So I'll just show you how the lock works. Okay, so we're getting to our first game against BK Sting. I'll take heads. Lost coin flip. Let's see if everyone goes first or second. So our opponent's going first. Probably means probably not Centiskorch, which are one of our worst matchups, so that's good. We know they still beat Centiskorch, but it is one of our harder matchups. Opening type null isn't the worst, but our hand in general certainly isn't the best. We do have the Cynthia Caitlyn to draw 3, so that's pretty solid. Looks like we're probably playing against ADP Zacian here, which is kind of annoying. Another one of our kind of closer matchups. If he attached like a Water Energy here this turn, then I can try to Crushing Hammer it off. That'd be really nice. Looks like that's what he's going for. So if we can get rid of the Crushing Hammer here, or get rid of the Water Energy here, that'll put us in a really solid spot. But, you know, it's just on a coin flip. I'm going to switch into the RC Steel Gapalkia. So yeah, let's just use Crushing Hammer. Tails. So, no cigar there. We're going to Cynthia Caitlyn. I think we're going to get rid of Ordinary Rod. Draw 3. Found Titanol and Minchino. That's interesting. I think I'm going to Quick Ball away. I don't really want to get rid of the Reset Stamp. Maybe I get rid of the Boss Orders. Maybe I think I should have gotten rid of... Oh, no. No, that was fine. This is fine. Maybe I should have Quick Balled before Cynthia Caitlyn, get rid of the Boss Orders, that way I could get this Boss Orders back with Cynthia Caitlyn, but I'm not sure if that was correct. It would have been correct anyways. I think I'm going to Quick Ball away the Scholar Mine, just for Minchino. That way I can get Minchino, Sub-Valley GX, and have Zacian in play. Lots of draw cards next turn. Although that put my opponent in a situation where he can bring up Zacian and Sub-Valley GX for 6 prizes with Brave Blade. Kind of annoying that I wasn't able to disrupt him there, because now he's just going to be able to Altered Creation, which puts me in a pretty tight clock. Okay, the Capture Energy is pretty good there. I think I'm going to use Make Do first. Let's get rid of 1 Reset Stamp. We only need 1. Okay, we see Wheezing. I'm going to Capture Energy onto this type null for Jirachi. And then I'm just going to retreat into the Jirachi just so to get a Stellar Wish off. We see Cynthia Caitlyn, Jesse James, Birdkeeper. I think I'm just going to take the Jesse James. And then if he knocks out the Zacian, we can Reset Stamp Jesse James, put him down to 3. And then use Sub-Valley GX's ability. We got quite a few of the cards that we need already. Now, we still have a thick deck, so it's going to be hard for us to simulate that lock that I was talking about once you get that 0 cards in deck. Keep drawing into the same cards every turn. He attaches Air Balloon, which means we'll be able to Tool Scrapper that. That's pretty solid. Looks like he's going to knock out my my Chinchino, which is definitely a good play on his part. Just going to Ultimate Ray. Him benching this means I don't really need the Tool Scrapper, unless he Air Balloons that as well, but the odds of that are pretty low. Looks like you can power up the one with the Air Balloon, maybe? Yeah, so he's setting up the one with the Air Balloon. I don't really like that. I'd rather him set up the one without the Air Balloon, since the one with the Air Balloon can just has so much mobility already. I do like him spreading them out, though. So I think I'm just going to Pokemon Communication this Wheezing in for a Drillbur. Actually, probably didn't do that right now. I probably gotta wait on that. I'll put the fighting energy on it, I think. Quick ball away the second Jesse James for a Minccino. Play it. And then I'm going to Tool Scrapper, mostly just so that I can... I played the way I did with that hand just so that I could Erica. Now we'll use Stellar Wish. Let's take the Chip Chip Ice Axe. We're going to want that next turn. Actually, we're going to need the boss's orders as well, though. And we are down one of those already. So maybe I should take the boss. But I can also find boss off of Cynthia Caitlyn. But Crushing Hammer can also get me the lock. I think I'm just going to take Chip Chip Ice Axe. I think I'm going to bench another Drillbur just in case he knocks this one out. And then I'll use Intrepid Sword. So Type Null, Lucario Elemental, Team Yellgrunt. Team Yellgrunt's pretty good here, actually. Because that means I can pull the lock off with Team Yellgrunt. I can Surge, Team Yellgrunt, one of these. Probably, maybe the Metal off, actually. Actually, no, probably a Water. Looks like he's gonna Pokemon Catcher. Does not get it. Another one. Whiffs that one too. He's down 3 Pokemon Catchers now. Interesting that he's probably playing like 4 boss and 4 Pokemon Catcher in this ADPization list. I've seen a few of those. Solid. Definitely helps him in this matchup. Like, resting is pretty important in this matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lock him next turn, which is pretty awkward for me to be honest, but we're working with it. We're working with it. Now, I'm gonna need to find a Scoop Up Net for this Jirachi next turn, in addition, or a Crushing Hammer Heads, and a Bird Keeper. Those are my two outs here. If I can boss's orders up this Crobat Bee, that'd be really nice. The most annoying part right now is that he's gonna be able to Intrepid Sword every turn, so I have to find the Weezing in addition to my Jesse James every turn, which gonna be a lot harder to do. But that's sort of why this matchup is kind of closer. If you get the lock off, you're still in a good spot, but it's harder to get the... You have less time to build up to that lock because of Altered Creation. Which is why that hammer at the beginning to try to buy myself a turn on Altered Creation was so important. Okay, so I'm gonna evolve into Excadrill. We're going to Quick Ball away this Type Null, and I don't think I'm going to take anything, so maybe I should take the Minccino. Or Minccino, sorry. I think I should. No, I'm gonna not, just because I want to be able to use Savali GX this turn. So I'm gonna reset stamp him down to 2. So I want to stamp or Yellgrunt first. I think I'll stamp him first. Yeah, let's stamp him first. And then I can Surge. Surge Team Yellgrunt, the Water Energy. Jesse and James. I can discard Lucario, Melmetal, and Weezing, and he'll discard his entire hand. So he's going to pick what 2 cards he discards. I'm going to discard Lucario, Melmetal, Weezing, and the other card's going to go anyways, so it doesn't really matter what he keeps here, actually. And I'm going to Chip Chip. There we go. So my opponent tried to keep the Cherish Ball. We're going to Chip Chip Ice Axe. He can just have another Zacian. That doesn't do him any good. Then we'll just go Savali GX. And use Disc Reload to draw 5. We can evolve into Minccino right here. Let's make do discarding maybe Scoop Up Net. Actually, Scoop Up Net's pretty good. Let's get rid of the Fighting Energy. I probably don't need another one right now. Boss Orders is a decent draw. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Rototiller. So we're going to put back in... I already have a Weezing in hand, so I think I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to go Chip Chip Ice Axe. Reset Stamp, because I know I'm going to need one next turn. And I think we'll just put a Jesse and James back in. Because I know he's going to Intrepid Sword next turn, so I have to find everything once again. Which is pretty annoying. depending on what we draw, we'll be able to do it. Okay, so he just uses Intrepid Sword. He doesn't even play the Zacian. Makes sense. Okay, so let's just make do, discarding one of these scoop up nets. Crushing Hammer, let's try and get rid of this water energy. Nice, nice. That's really good. Okay, this is Great Ball. Take Minccino. Definitely gonna play that. I think I want to scoop up net this Drill Bear just so that I can put it back down and get an extra card off of type Null. Yeah. Or get any cards off of type Null, that's what I should say. I see a Chip Ice Axe. I think I have to Cynthia Caitlyn here, discarding the boss's orders. And just draw. I'm going to take the Jesse James. Actually, I'll take Lieutenant Surge. Okay, so this is pretty good here, actually. I'm going to go Stamp him to 2. Chip Ice Axe. Let's give him the... Ooh, that's pretty bad, actually. Don't really want to give him any of those. But I'll give him the boss's orders, I guess. I do have the Birdkeeper and Surge in hand next turn anyways. I'll just Rototiller. That might be game, because I couldn't pull off the lock that turn, but I actually don't think I need Reset Stamps. Actually, I might here. I might need Reset Stamp. Let's put it back in. Actually, I've already got one in these 9 cards, so I don't need to put a second Reset Stamp back in. Let's put Jesse James back in, because I know for sure I'm going to need that next turn. Let's put a boss back in. And then maybe Crushing Hammer? What might help me draw more cards next turn? Because that would be good. I think I'm just going to put an energy back in so that I can Wondrous Labyrinth next turn. If I draw into the energy. Let's hope he found 2 dead cards off of that Reset Stamp. If he had Switch Energy, that's game. I gave him the boss, right? Yeah, so he can boss something up and then use Intrepid Sword to draw up to 5, so I'll need to find the Reset Stamp and Jesse James next turn. Actually, I don't... Yeah. I do need the Jesse James. So he's going to boss up Zacian. Let's see what else. Yep, just Intrepid Sword. That's pretty lucky. Because he definitely... That was his best chance to break the lock. So let's go Surge. Birdkeeper. Go into Excadrill. Let's attach this Fighting Energy. Yeah. Attach Fighting Energy. Play Wondrous Labyrinth. Let's use Make Do, getting rid of the Zacian. There's the Jesse James, but we still need the Reset Stamp. Let's Make Do this Drill Bear. Please give me Reset Stamp. Ooh, we did not get the Reset Stamp. That's pretty bad. Okay, so yeah, the lock is definitely pretty hard to pull off against ADP. Let's Crushing Hammer an energy off of one of these Zacians. And then I guess I just have to Jesse James. See what he gets rid of. He's going to get to keep 2 cards either way here, which is really, really annoying. Because there's the odds of one of those 2 cards being good is pretty high. Let's get rid of Wheezing to make him discard 1 more. And Surge, because I don't feel like we'll need it next turn. I'm going to discard 1 more. And then, Chip Ice Axe. Actually, maybe I should have saved that Chip. Yeah, I probably should have saved the Chip Ice Axe. Okay, I found another Chip Ice Axe anyways. So let's go Reset Stamp him down to 2. And then use Chip Ice Axe. Let's give him a... These are all pretty good. Pokemon Catcher, maybe? Because I do have Birdkeeper in hand. Yeah, let's do the Pokemon Catcher. And then I'm just going to Rototiller. I'm going to need a Surge back so that I can Birdkeeper next turn if he gets heads on Pokemon Catcher. So let's go Surge. I already have the Jesse and James in hand. Reset Stamp I might need. Let's do 2 chips of Ice Axe, since he's seemed to have a pretty... Actually, maybe I take the Wheezing. No, I think 2 chips of Ice Axe is fine. We're just going to hope they drew dead again on... after this turn, we should be, like, confirmed in the lock. But... definitely still find it this turn. How many... Has he used any stadiums yet? No stadiums now for my opponent. I don't know how many stadiums the Clay ADP build actually plays. Okay, so he has Cherish Ball. He's going to be able to get into a Dedenne GX, which is pretty scary. Ooh, he's got the Energy Switch. Ooh, so he just needs Energy and Switch. That's not good. I know that... Okay, yeah, he's going to Pokemon Catcher. Pulls up my Zacian. This is super scary. Dedenne. Metal Saucer. Does he have the Switch? He's only down 1. Yeah, he has the Switch. So give him the Well Played. Didn't even see it. But yeah, that's one of our harder matchups because we need to, it's so like you saw, I was able to get the lock off, but my deck was too big, so it was so hard for me to keep drawing into the cards that I needed to maintain the lock. Just because I didn't have because of Alter Creation, you just don't have as much time to get there as you normally would. So if he had missed there, I only had 5 cards left in deck and a few cards in hand, I would have been able to secure the lock for the rest of the game there, almost indefinitely. But yeah, could not do it because just didn't have enough time. A little bit short. Hopefully we hit a different matchup next round. I definitely think the matchup was very, very winnable though, but one of your closer ones. Okay, so we won the Queen Flip against Fearin. We're going to call heads. We lost, so he's probably going to choose to go first. Opponent's turn. Zacian start. I mean, it's not as bad as it seems because it can probably take a hit, unlike our littler guys, but it's also not a great start because we need to find a Birdkeeper to move it. Any of our, like, yeah, definitely, probably our worst starters still, but like I said, not as bad as it seems. So I think we Quick Ball away Excadrill, maybe Scoop Up Net 2. Just take Minccino and Jirachi, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll see what we top deck. Definitely change things a lot. Every single card in your hand can change your entire line pretty quickly with this deck. Maybe if I Quick Ball the Excadrill away, I'm probably going to need to Ordinary Rod before I get the lock off anyways, so maybe I can Quick Ball away Excadrill and Wheezing. I do have 2 Wheezing, and I normally only need 1, so. Our opponent mulligans, so we're going to get to draw an extra card. Crushing Hammer is pretty solid, especially since we're going second. Opponent has a Zacian start, so this might just be another ADP Zacian. Hopefully Lucario Mud Model Zacian, because that matchup's like really good for us. Since they still have the Intrepid Sword, so we still have to Jesse James Wheezing every turn, but they don't have the, what's it called? Alter Creation, so. Looks like we're seeing a Great Ball from our opponent there, so maybe this is like a more rogue, slower setup deck. Maybe it's a mirror. That'd be pretty crazy. I honestly don't even know how I would go about winning the mirror with this deck, because we don't play any sort of like mirror text like Girafarig or Apom or Persian, all cards that are really good in the mirror. We see our opponent Quick Ball for a Barboach though, so we'll see what that's all about. I mean, it is obviously not, whatever we're playing against doesn't seem to be the most top tier deck, but really, whether it's top tier or not, doesn't really matter for this deck. Sort of executing the same strategy almost every matchup. So let's Quick Ball the Minccino. And I think I am going to Quick Ball away the Wheezing. We'll just take Jirachi. Actually, maybe I'll take the Type Null. Yeah, let's take the Type Null. Yeah, I'll take Jirachi, actually. That way, if I hit Birdkeeper, I can Birdkeeper into the Jirachi, and then I have Scoop Up Net if I want to reuse it. Crushing Hammer, broken. We hit the Crushing Hammer heads on the Barboach. Maybe I should have saved my Crushing Hammers. Nah, I think that's fine. Fine to use the Crushing Hammers, because I can always Yell Grunt for the lock or Boss's Orders for the lock. I don't have to remove energy on the turn that I lock. Especially since my opponent has that Zacian. and I assume it's not an attacker, seeing as he's playing Barboach and Fighting Energy, so we should be able to trap that in the active with a boss. Won't need to use the Lucario Metal or Crushing Hammers on our lock turn, or Team Yell Grunt. See what our opponent does, though. They didn't do too much last turn, but they did Quick Ball away on Marnie, which would imply that they already had a supporter card in hand. Our hand's actually already shaping up pretty nicely. We got the Chinchino for next turn, we got the Cynthia Caitlyn, and we already have Reset Stamp and Chip Chip Ice Axe for the turn that we lock. Scoop Up Net's pretty nice as well. Seeing Quick Ball for Jirachi coming down, and he's just getting Intrepid Sword again. That's pretty solid for us. Maybe he didn't have a supporter and was hoping to get another one off of Intrepid Sword or something like that. Zacian's actually a pretty good top deck, just because it gives us discard fodder. Let's make do discarding the Zacian. I'm just going to Cynthia Caitlyn, discarding the Crushing Hammer. No supporters in discard. Drill Burr, and then we'll just Intrepid Sword. Maybe I'll just leave one Drill Burr for now. Pokemon Communication, Chinchino, and Surge. That's pretty nice. We can Pokemon Communication, you get a type null down. No Bird Keeper yet, but we should find one eventually. We still need our opponent to take a couple of prizes first, though. Looks like the Whiscash comes out, so we can find out what our opponent's deck is actually doing. Long Pokemon on your bench prevent all damage done to this Pokemon. Earthquake for 2 Fighting Energy, 140 and 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. That's kind of cool. 2 Fighting Energy for 140. It's pretty solid. Not great, but you know, probably not enough to make it viable competitively, but it's definitely interesting. I like the creativity. We got the type null to make do, so now I don't even need to Pokecom for it. Got Boss's Orders for the turn that we lock. We have... Maybe I should Pokecom for another... I think I'm just going to play bench the Drill Burr. And then I'll Crushing Hammer, see if we can set our opponent behind another turn. I assume he plays Karate Belt, but I should never be ahead on prizes anyway, so we won't be able to use it. So he'll need 2 energy on that Whiscash to attack with it. We hit Bead. I don't know if it's Bede or Bead. I always instinctively say Bede, but I think it is Bead. We got Bead and Lucario Melmetal. Definitely probably won't be using those in this matchup, because we can just boss the Zacian for the lock. We don't actually need to remove the energy. Martial Arts Surgery comes down for our opponent. It's going to increase the damage by 10. Unless he plays a Magneton or something like that, it's always just going to increase by 10. Not going to get that plus 40 effect. Mewtwo coming in to put Marnie back on top. That's kind of scary. We have a lot of good cards in our deck, but we're getting through the deck slowly but surely. Scoop Up Net's the Mewtwo. Puts it back down. Interesting. He's going to put Research and Marnie on top, which means he's probably going to Research us next turn instead of using Marnie. Scoop Up Net the Mewtwo again. Let's see what he puts down this time. Maybe nothing. Maybe just Scoop Up Netting to Scoop Up Net. We still both have just Zacian Mirror in the active, with neither of us. We're both playing Stage 1 fighting types and have Zacian in the active and have not taken any prizes. Ordinary Round. Ooh, that's a very bad play for my opponent. Oh, he has the Research anyways. Okay, so he was just okay. No, that's fine then. Actually, never mind. I take it back. He was just getting a couple of supporters back with those 2 of Net Mewtwo's, and he already had the supporter in hand for next turn. I'm gonna switch into Earthquake. I mean, maybe should have put Research on top, Ordinary Red, the fighting energy back in, and then Mewtwo the Marnie on top. That way we could Research into a Marnie for next turn. Let's make do discarding the Lucario Melmetal. Wasn't sure if I wanted to get rid of the Lucario Melmetal or the Bead first. Let's go ahead and evolve into Excadrill now, just in case I get Marnied here. I'll play the Galar Mine. I'm going to hold the Great Ball once again in case I get Marnied. I think I'll hold the Boss's Orders for next turn so I can pull a lock off in a couple turns. Hopefully we don't get Marnied here. He just concedes. Interesting. I don't know why he conceded. I mean, I really think we were going to win that one. I don't think there's anything he really could have done to stop us from just locking him. But, yeah, maybe he saw the writing on the wall. But yeah, we'll just get into... Okay, so we're back with another game of Excadrill Control, playing against John Healy. We get to call a coin flip. Heads, 3-1, so we got to go first this game. Let's see what we open. We're probably going to open the Drill Bird just to keep the Minccino out of the line of fire. No, I think this is fine. I'm going to say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I should have done... I think I'm just going to pass on that. I don't want to commit the energy yet, in case I Bird Keeper into Minccino and they need to retreat. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should have opened Minccino, that way I could Bird Keeper into the Drill Bird on my second turn. Pretty awkward start though, honestly. Not the best starting hand. Hopefully we get an out to Zacian off of our Bird Keeper here. Quick walling away Gengar Mimikyu, that's interesting. Probably playing against also playing a Cherish Ball, so probably playing against Mewtwo and Mew GX. What did he Cherish Ball for? Oh, he Cherish Balled for the Gengar Mimikyu, that's interesting. Just really thinking about this one, maybe he's prize checking. I should prize check more often. I'll probably check in tournaments, but I normally don't prize check in testing, but I should. It's good practice. Looks like he's taking Rotom. Playing against another pretty interesting deck. Discard card from your hand if you do draw 2 cards, and for 1 Psychic attach 2 basic energy from your disc pile to your bench Pokemon any way you like. That's interesting. What did he Pokegear for? A Welder? Professor's Research. Okay, and he's Cherish Balling for Mewtwo and Mew GX. So this is just a Mewtwo and Mew GX deck, but he plays Rotom. That's kind of interesting. It's a pretty good attack, honestly, but hasn't seen a lot of play. But it looks like he's researching away 2 Psychic Energy, which tells me this probably isn't a Welder Mewtwo deck. It probably is a Psychic Mewtwo deck. Sort of like we saw with Malamar last format, but now that Malamar's rotated, it looks like he's using Rotom to power up that Mewtwo with Psychic Energy. Probably using a combination of Trevenant and Dusknoir, and the Gengar Mimikyu. We're just going to Bird Keeper into this Cinccino now. I'm going to attach and retreat back into the... Do I need to retreat back? I probably should have used Make Do first. Let's Make Do this Bead. Okay, that's actually really good. That was a really good draw. You can retreat into this Jirachi now. Go for the Stellar Wish. Let's take Jesse and James, because we're going to need that eventually. And go Zacian and Intrepid Sword. We could play the Wondrous Labyrinth right now. I don't think that's necessary. We got Tool Scrapper, another Savali GX, and Ordinary Rod. So Ordinary Rod and Savali GX, pretty bad draws there, to be honest. Didn't really need either of those cards. But the Tool Scrapper is definitely solid. We'll need that to get the lock off by locking the Denny GX in the active. I'm gonna switch into this Mewtwo. Maybe going for a Horror House here, or sorry, Poltergeist. We'll see if we can find the Trevenant and Dusknoir that I'm assuming he's playing. Trevenant, if he has a Marnie and he can find the Trevenant and Dusknoir, that put us in a pretty compromisable spot here. So we're gonna bring up the Drillbur. Feels like the safest thing to take the hit right now. Let's Make Do away one of these Savali GX. I'm probably gonna have to Ordinary Rod soon. That's not good, to be honest. Okay, I can Cynthia and Caitlyn. I think I'm gonna Cynthia Caitlyn, discard the Excadrill, take Bird Keeper, draw 3, and then I'm going to go ahead and Ordinary Rod, do both, and I'm gonna put back in Excadrill, Jirachi, and a Fighting Energy. And then I'm going to Pokemon Communication away this Weezing for a Jirachi, bench it, and then I will just use Intrepid Sword to draw 3. Lucario Memetalization and Scuba Met. That's pretty bad, to be honest. I didn't really want any of those cards, actually. The Scuba Net isn't bad. It means I can probably get an extra Stellar Wish in one of these turns, but the Zacian and Lucario Memetal are pretty bad, to be honest. He's going to use Professor's Research. He gets rid of Jesse James, Water Energy, Switch, Big Charm. He's done 3 Switch, so that's actually, like, really good for us. He finds a Trevenant and Dusknoir. The Jesse and James is pretty scary. Because that means if we're ever at a like really low hand size... Okay, he's going to stamp us, and then use Tremor and Duskmore. Gives us... It's not a bad handoff stamp, actually. We got another Minccino, got the Birdkeeper. So... Ooh, we put Scoop Up Net back. So I'm probably going to bring up the Jirachi, just so I can Birdkeeper into the... Or bring up Cinccino, just so I can Birdkeeper into Jirachi. Let's just do that. I'm not going to bother burning the Surge here. Let's make do away this Lucario Melmetal. I got back into the Tool Scrapper, so I'll get rid of that Air Balloon. Bench another Jirachi for when this one gets knocked out. Bench a Cinccino, or Minccino. Stellar Wish for the Erika's Hospitality. And then I'll just use Intrepid Sword. He's gonna go down to 3 prizes here. Which means we're getting pretty close to needing to lock him, so I'm gonna need to whip out that Drillbur next turn. Now, a scary thing is he probably plays Venom Shot, the Neganadel GX, seeing as he's playing a Psychic Energy variant. And Venom Shot's going to allow him to snipe around my board, hit 170 wherever he'd like, and that's definitely scary. Now, he reset stamped me out of a couple cards that I definitely wanted, but I got the Drillbur, I got Scoop Up Net, so it's not the worst. He Viridians away the Greninja GX, catches the energy to Trevenant and Duskmar, so that doesn't really do much. And hits Quick Ball and Wondrous Labyrinth. The Quick Ball is kind of an annoying thing for him to hit. And I am going to need a Stadium Bump. Now that my Cinccino's gone, I'm going to need to find another... Well, I'm just going to need to find another Cinccino, basically. Let's take the Jesse James. I know I'm going to need that very soon. Then let's Scoop Up Net this Jirachi to another Jirachi. Stellar Wish. Take the Great Ball. Maybe I should take the Erika's Hospitality because I haven't used the Supporter yet. Yeah, probably. It's Great Ball. Ooh, we didn't find a Cinccino. We just found a Minccino. We also need Type Null. Maybe I should Jesse and James here. If I had the Wheezing, I would definitely go for Jesse and James, but I just don't. Let's Viridian away this Jirachi for a Fighting Energy. Play it. Bench the Minccino. I think I'm just gonna... I don't want to Jesse James yet. I'm just gonna Intrepid Sword. I'm gonna Intrepid Sword. I hope I draw really well. Actually, I did draw really well. Reset Stamp Chip is very well. Now I just need Cinccino. So I'll be able to make do next turn. I'm gonna need to get a Type Null out for sure next turn. I kind of have everything else that I need, but he is gonna most likely use Night Watch again, so that's kind of annoying. Professor's Research. He's down to 14 cards, which means if I can pull the lock off, it won't take me too long to deck him out. Let's see. Hopefully he puts back like Minccino Boss. I don't need either of those. The Surge would be kind of annoying. Actually, I do need the Boss. That was a lie. I need... Oh, he's gonna Horror House GX. That's really interesting. I'm just gonna set up my hand a little bit more then. I'm gonna Stellar Wish. I should have used Viridian Forest before Stellar Wish for sure. I'm gonna take a Quick Ball. Guarantees the Type Null for next turn. And then I'm going to Viridian. I kind of want to keep all of this just in case. I'll just use Intrepid Sword. Wondrous Labyrinth is a really, really good draw. Because I needed the Stadium Bump as well. Capture Energy. Cynthia Caitlin. I need the Tool Scrapper still. That's kind of annoying. Ooh, he has the Marnie. That's really bad. I had a lot of good cards in hand. Scoop Net, Team Yell Grunt, Crushing Hammer, Palpad. Man, we don't have anything anymore. I think I have to bring up Minccino and let that go down. Let's Crushing Hammer. Let's take the energy off of here. I'll just Palpad, put back Birdkeeper, Cynthia Caitlin, so I have a couple more draw cards. I'll just use my Intrepid Sword. Cinccino, Lieutenant Surge, Capture Energy. So none of those are really going to do a lot for me here. Yeah, I probably lost this game. Well, at least you guys got to see one... Well, you didn't really get to see me actually, like, hard pull the lock off, but hopefully you could tell against that Whiscash deck that, like, the way the lock was sort of going to form there, and you could kind of see it start to form against that ADP Zacian deck. The Birdkeeper top deck is awkward here, but I'll just Surge Birdkeeper into the Zacian. I can Birdkeeper again, but I only have 1 prize left, so maybe I should, and I can just retreat back into Zacian. I just need to draw cards, really. Yeah, so let's maybe I have Wonder Slappings? No. Why can't I have a retreat cost of 2? Holy, I didn't realize that. Yeah, so this is sort of, you can see how the deck falls apart. I mean, the deck has never been good against this, like, Trevenant and Dusk Noir deck, like, ever, but yeah, especially with Marnie and Nightwatch, you can sort of see how this deck falls apart. Most decks don't have Nightwatch, but Marnie can be troublesome. Oh, yep, so there's the Venom Shot for game. Marnie can definitely be troublesome in general. Definitely a big weakness for the deck. You can see sort of how the lock was being established against ADP Zacian. You can see the cards that I was putting back and recycling. Seeing how the lock was forming, I just wasn't able to quite get... I was like 1 turn short of pulling off the complete lock. And it's that Whisk Cash deck. You kind of see how that lock was forming in a way that like he couldn't really do anything about it. That lock was gonna be really, really hard. So thank everyone for watching. Make sure to check out the Red Riot Games store. Follow me on Twitch and follow me on Twitter. You should be able to find everything, links to everything in the description below. Okay, we are back. We're playing against Gorkhair Baller. We got to go second this game because we won coin flip. Looks like we have a pretty solid start. We still need to hit the greens off of the Pokegear, but other than that, we have a really solid start. So we're playing against a Galarian Corsola V deck. Card just came out in Champion's Path at the time that I'm playing. At the time that I'm recording this, the set just released a couple days ago. I know I saw an interesting toolbox deck just today that played Galarian Corsola, Lucario V, and Giratina and Garchomp V. So the Ziggs game tells me that we're probably seeing something like that. Hollow Missile is a very interesting attack. As long as Pokemon is in your spot when your opponent tests an energy card from your hand to their Pokemon, put 3 damage counters on that Pokemon. That's a very interesting attack. A nice thing about that, the way that interacts with our deck, is that Victory Sign is going to attach them from the deck to our Pokemon, so we won't have to take damage counters from that. Of course, we'll have to take 6 damage counters when we build our 2 energy on, though. So it looks like it's actually a Galarian Corsola V Dragapult deck. Very interesting. What do I want to do here? I think that I will... I think I'm going to Quick Ball away a Switch. And I'm just going to take maybe another Victini. Because I can let him go through 2 Victinis. That way my reset stamps are more powerful. Let's Pokegear. There's a Greens. I just wanted to Quick Ball before using Pokegear to thin the deck a little bit. Let's take Giant Hearth, and actually, do I have Energy Spinner in deck this time? Yes, I do. There's the Energy Spinner. What else do I want? I could take... I don't know if I really need anything else. Maybe I'll just take another Greens or a Big Charm. Actually, I think I'll take... No, Power Plant's better in combination with Reset Stamp. I think that I will just take a Viridian Forest. Let's take another Greens. And then I'll just Energy Spinner for 3 Fire Energy. That way I have 2 for Welder next turn. Bench the Bird Trio, attach Fire here. I'm going to hold off on benching that Victini just so it doesn't take extra damage. We'll go ahead and attach Water, Lightning with this Victory Sign to Bird Trio. That way we'll have it all powered up with that Welder next turn. And be able to one-shot this Corsola V. So if we one-shot the Corsola V, it actually puts us in a really, really good spot. But it looks like he does have the Air Balloon. Ooh, he's going to Marnie us. That's actually really bad for us. Maybe I shouldn't have grabbed the green just out of fear of Marnie. Okay, we hit Welder Fire though, so we're probably okay. We're still going to need another energy though. But yeah, if we can knock out... If he leaves the Galarian Corsola active, that would be fantastic. And he probably will, just so that he can activate the ability a little bit more. Because the ability only works while it's in the active spot. But if he has Dragapult VMAX, then obviously he's going to opt to use Dragon Ball VMAX. Look at Quick Ball's coming down, so probably a Day change here. See what he takes. Ooh, another Galarian Corsola V. That's interesting. Doesn't. Oh, okay. He already has another AGX in hand. That makes sense then. He only really needs one Galarian Corsola. He's got the nice Full Art one. That's a really nice card, actually. Haven't seen it yet. Dragon Ball V is nice too. So is the Dene Full Art. This guy looks like he's blinged out for the most part. Actually, he doesn't have the Full Art Quick Balls, Turbo Patches, or Marnies, but he's got the reverse Zigzagoons. He's got the Full Art Pokemon. Another Air Balloon coming down. Yeah, and he's just gonna leave his Galarian Corsola V active. He did miss the Dragon Ball VMAX, so I'm just gonna be able to go Welder to this and hopefully hit another energy. Ooh, I missed the second energy. That's actually really bad. Okay, actually I can Tool Scrapper. That's a really good draw off the Welder though. I can Tool Scrapper away both of these Air Balloons and maybe trap the Galarian Corsola in the active. So we'll just Victory Sign. Put one more Fire on this Bird Trio. I'm not going to take a second energy because it's already got 4 energy on it. And then we have the Great Catcher as well, so next turn we can definitely take 2 prizes. If he brings up the Dragapult, we'll just hit the Dragapult, but... Oh, he has another Air Balloon. Jeez. He's going to Air Balloon the Galarian Corsola. Actually, that's, that boss's orders is really annoying. He's going to be able to knock out my Victini. Oh, no, because he doesn't have the Dragon Ball VMAX. He's using Jet Assault. So I think I'm going to greens for Tag Call. And, jeez. That was fast. We're going to take Doll and Tag Call, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take those two. And then I'm going to Tag Call for a Bird Trio and a Cynthia, maybe a Malolana in case he bosses up this Bird Trio. Or misses the knockout on my active one. So we're going to bench that, play that. I'm actually, I shouldn't have grabbed the Doll because I'm not actually going to Sky Legends this turn. I was thinking about using Sky Legends, but I can actually just Trinity Burn this Dragapult for the knockout. So we're definitely going to do that. Yeah, that seems like a pretty awkward play. I mean, I guess he didn't really have many other options. He hasn't seen a VMAX yet, but it still seems like a pretty awkward play to just sacrifice your Dragapult V. Because now he has really no follow-up. Actually, I guess you can use Hollow Missile. So it does 6 damage and put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. Won't be enough to knock out my Bird Trio, but he can knock out my Bird Trio and maybe get rid of my Doll or my Victini, whichever one he prefers. I feel like the Victini is probably better to get rid of than the Doll, since well, maybe not. I was going to say since he gets the prize off of it, but the prize won't really ever matter. It'll just make my reset stamp stronger, because either way he's going to have to knock out 2 of these Bird Trios. I'm not going to put 3 Victini down, obviously. So I think he Marnied me and then reset spam me. Ooh, Training Cord's actually... If he knocks me out... Well, he's not going to knock me out, though. We know that. I was going to say Training Cord seemed really good for me, but it's not actually. It doesn't really do much. So I don't know if I want to Welder or Research here. Probably Welder. Just get that 1 Fire Energy on there. That seems pretty good. See if he puts them... Okay, so he is gonna take the knock on the Victini, which actually means Training Court is live. I love that. So I get the Training Court for a Fire, and then I can Viridian away the Victini for another Fire, and Welder to the fresh Bird Trio. And then maybe I even just Sky Legends now, knock out, and I can knock out both Zigzagoon. Or maybe I just take 2 prizes. No, I think I just Sky Legends. Let's Sky Legends, knock out Zigzagoon and Zigzagoon, and then we'll put the other 110 on Galarian Corsola V. And now, all we need is, if the Viridian stays in play, we can just Viridian for the Water Energy, attach it to Bird Trio, and take Trinity Burn one of these Pokemon for the knockout. And he can't even take a knock. All he can really do this turn is Hollow Missile, do 6, kill my Doll, and put 30 somewhere. If he gets a boss, then you can put 60 on here and then kill my doll with the boss. But he's also going to need to bump the stadium for sure. Otherwise, I can just use it. If he does bump the stadium, I'll probably Pokegear to try to thin a supporter out of my deck, and then I'll just use Professor's Research and try to draw into the water energy that way. And I'll Great Catcher first, just to put the Dedenne active. Now, that Marnie's actually really good for me. I mean, it could be bad if I don't find a supporter, but if I do find a supporter, then it's really good for me because it just allows me to dig a little bit deeper, since I didn't have the water energy in my hand already. But actually, he did Marnie me into a pretty bad hand. But the Viridian's still in play, so unless he finds the Viridian bump, none of this matters. All that matters is I can Viridian for the water energy and Trinity Burn for the knockout. Looks like, I mean, maybe he doesn't realize it, but he probably does realize it and is just waiting for me to do it. I'm Viridian for water. Give him the well played, and then he just concedes. Okay, so that was another relatively quick game, only 10 minutes. So we'll play one more. Okay, so we're playing against Mark the Gunner. He is calling a coin flip. I won, so I will opt to go second as a greens deck that wants a victory sign turn 1. Tribird start is not good, but we have the Pokegear, so if we can Pokegear into greens, then we can greens for switch, quick ball with the Victini, switch into Victini, attach the fire energy to it, and victory sign. We'll probably use Giant Hearth as well before that, just so that we can thin the deck before Pokegear. Ooh, another Dragapult. That's very interesting. We didn't see it all around a lot. I wonder if there's another Galarian Corsola V deck. Maybe someone made a video on it or something that I didn't see. So yeah, I think I'm going to play the Giant Hearth. I think I'm going to get rid of the Power Plant. The Malolana seems really good in this matchup, since Dragapult only does 130. And then I'll just Pokegear. No greens, but we do have Welder, so that's almost as good. You can just Welder the active, attach the water, then we have greens for the energy spinner for next turn, so we'll just pass. And all he did was attach pass. He probably has a supporter in hand because he went first, so he just couldn't play it. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe he doesn't. We can just go greens for energy spinner for lightning and keep the game. That would be pretty broken. But yeah, we'll see what it does. I presume he has a supporter. Giant Bomb onto this Dragapult. I'm gonna Quick Ball, probably for Dedenne GX. Okay, him grabbing the other Dragapult off the Quick Ball tells me he either has another Quick Ball for a Dedenne, or he does have a draw supporter. Crushing Hammer coming down, that's actually really good for my opponent, because that means I won't be able to Trinity Burn next turn. And it looks like he's actually going to get the, he's going to be able to get the turn 2 Max Phantom off. So I think I might greens for switch Quick Ball and then grab Victini. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So we'll grab switch, Quick Ball away, Professor's Research maybe? Let's go to the boss's orders. I don't feel like it's going to be that good this game. Take the Victini, switch into Victini, attach Fire Energy, and then I will just Victory Sign for Lightning Energy, Fire Energy, and put them both on this Bird Trio. Kind of an awkward hand. Okay, if he bosses this up, he'll do 130 to it, and it'll still be out of range of the knockout. He'll need a Zigzagoon Ping. So if he doesn't boss this up, then I'm actually safe to just Trinity Burn next turn. And play Professor's Research. He's got another Crushing Hammer. This one doesn't really matter as much, especially since I have the Energy Retrieval in my hand. Now, if he does pull this up and hit it for 130, I'm probably just going to Mallow and Lana back into the Victini, and then I'll just retreat and Trinity Burn. And then the turn after I can Sky Legends. But I think he just plays Supporter. No, he used Day-Day Change. So he's going to bump my Giant Hearth with Viridian, which means I'll probably just end up... Well, I guess I won't Viridian away the Viridian, because I'm probably going to Research next turn. Unless he bosses orders. So now I'm going to Mallow and Lana away the Viridian. But yeah, I do think I'm still in a pretty solid spot here. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of the boss, though. I'm not sure. He's got Crobat for 5. I wonder if he's still trying to disrupt me with more Crushing Hammers. He's down 2, so he presumably plays 2 more. And he plays Giratina, so lots of energy disruption in this deck. Probably to try to have a way to win the Eternatus matchup, since they, without some play Turbo Patch, but most of them don't, so they're usually just attaching 2 energy per turn. Ooh, looks like he's actually going to be able to knock out my Victini, which is really bad for me, because that means I can't Malolana either. Which will just put him 1 Scoop Up Net Zigzagoon Ping away from winning next turn. Yeah, that's actually really bad. I really needed a Pokemon to switch into. We'll see what I top deck. I top deck a Greens. That's actually really good. I'm going to Greens for the big turn. And probably Tag Call. Yeah, we're going to take those 2. So I'm going to Tag Call for Bird Trio and Cynthia Caitlin. We're going to Big Charm this. That way he can't... Oh, actually, it's at 260, so we'll be able to... He won't be able to knock it out with Zigzagoon Pings, but my math must have been off there. Huh. Yeah, my math was definitely off there. My bad. Let's Viridian away this Viridian for a Water Energy. Attach it. Maybe I just have to Sky Legends here, actually. I could Sky Legends. This is really awkward. Yeah, I think that I'm just gonna have to use Sky Legends. I should have taken something. I should have taken Doll off of instead of Big Charm. Then I could Sky Legends into the Doll. Yeah, I don't want to Sky Legends, but I think I'm going to. I'm going to go there, there, and there. So he's going to need a 3-shot this thing still. He might not even play into the Zigzagoon, so he might not be able to soften this up with pings. He does need a 3-shot it, so that's definitely good. I'm going to Cynthia and Caitlin the Lightning Energy away, probably. Because I can just energy retrieval for it back. I put myself in kind of a really awkward situation by not grabbing the Doll there, though. Sets me back a turn. Honestly, the Team Yellgrunt doesn't even really matter that much. I don't have the Welder, so I probably wasn't going to be able to attack next turn anyways. Oof, just teasing me by top decking the Pokédoll. I think, I think maybe I'll just Malolana here. Yeah, let's Malolana. Let's discard Lightning Water. And then just energy retrieval for Lightning Water back. Actually, I'll take Water Fire. Oh no, I've still got lots of fire energy left. We'll take Lightning Water. Let's attach the water. And then pass. So he's gonna knock this out, put 50 here. Honestly, it doesn't even matter that much that I'm Malolana. Maybe I shouldn't have. Because the thing is, he's gonna... No, I think I had to, though. My situation's really not good, though. I'm gonna need the Big Charm. Yeah. Not taking the Big Charm instead of the Doll was definitely a misplay. Deck... That was just a bad math thing on my part. I was gonna say the deck was hard to play, but that wasn't even hard to play. That was just me mathing bad. So he's gonna put 50 on my Bird Trio, which means I'm now in 2-shot range here. I'm just gonna Cynthia and Caitlin, discarding the Research for the Welder. Maybe I take Malolana, actually. No, I think I have to Welder next turn, right? Okay, there's 2 fire energies, so that's nice. But I'm gonna need the... I'm gonna leave that... Actually, I'll Viridian away the Vitality Band. We'll just take another... I'll take a Water Energy, just in case he hits another one of those Crushing Hammers. And then I'll just pass. Yeah, so he's gonna put me up to 290 here. So I'm gonna have 10 HP left. Or sorry, not 290. 190. So I'm going to have 110 HP left. Which means if I get a big charm, I'll survive, just barely. Another Vitality Band, so let's just Viridian that away to thin the deck out. Take a Lightning Energy. And then I'm just going to Welder, and hopefully we can hit the big charm, because if we don't, we probably just lose. I mean, he still needs 2 more prizes after this, actually. But we didn't find a basic Pokemon anyways, so... Yeah. Yeah, he's just going to be able to knock us out this turn. So we'll just Trinity Barrier for the knockout. He's just going to bring up this other Dragapult and knock us out for game. Well played. Yeah, if we hit another Bird Trio there, we might have actually still been able to win, because he needs 5 prizes. But, no, we just had 2 stuck there in the deck still. But yeah, I definitely played that, definitely could have played that better. I don't know if it would have, I probably would have won me the game. That game was pretty close still, so I definitely might have been able to win if, it wouldn't have secured me the game if I played better, but there were a couple things that I could have done better there that would have given me a much better chance. So that's the deck. It's pretty powerful. We didn't get to see against Eternatus or ADPization, but you can sort of see that sort of strategy. The strategy that I was taking against, that I took against the Dragapult is sort of the same strategy they take against Eternatus. You want to hit, you want to knock out a 2-prizer, hit a VMAX, a 3-prizer of any sort, for 100 or 210, and then you Sky Legends, a 1-prizer, and the VMAX for the knockout. Or you can just hit 2 VMAXs and Sky Legends and them both for the knockout. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out Red Riot Games store, follow me on Twitch, and follow me on Twitter. Links to everything should be in the description below.